Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we are setting aside the usual macroeconomic trends and political drama to focus on something a little different, the evolution of, well, professional expertise.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're diving into the sources provided on one person, Mohammed Usman Ali Khan. He's an advocate and legal consultant who describes himself as a, and I'm quoting here, technology-enabled litigation practitioner.
And that phrase right there, it immediately sets the stage, doesn't it?
It really does.
We are looking at a professional profile that's really designed to answer a question. What happens when, dedicated courtroom advocacy meets global business efficiency?
Okay.
So our mission today is to analyze exactly how the specific advocate blends that traditional expertise, which is rooted in Pakistan's district and sessions courts, with this extensive international business, retail, and tech experience to improve client outcomes.
And what immediately strikes you right off the bat is that global to local contrast. So you have an advocate who is admitted before the District and Sessions Courts in Pakistan, enrolled with the Punjab Bar Council, license granted November 2024. But then the sources also detail this significant professional exposure in the USA, the UK, and Germany.
That is a massive global footprint.
Right. And it's informing a very local practice.
Well, it suggests an approach to law that's informed not just by local precedent, but by multinational operational standards and a real commitment to efficiency.
Okay, so we're not just reading a CV here.
No, not at all. We're analyzing a kind of hybrid professional whose whole structure is built on this really diverse experience.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where should we start? The core practice, right? What is the traditional foundation here?
The foundation is, well, it's traditional high-stakes litigation and consulting. The advocate is actively practicing across civil, criminal, banking, and special tribunals.
Special tribunals.
Yes, for instance, the sources specifically mention engagement with the defamatory tribunal.
And for listeners who might not be familiar,
These are specialized courts, often handling really complex issues related to defamation, reputation management, media disputes. So this is an advocate who is navigating complex, sensitive areas. We're talking property disputes, criminal defense, commercial matters.
so that's the courtroom reality.
Okay.
But the technology-enabled part, that's the real hook. This has to go far beyond just standard case management software, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It's about leveraging technical and digital skills to change how the law is actually practiced. The profile highlights using AI-assisted legal research and modern case management systems to deliver services that are described as, efficient, accurate, and most importantly, client-focused.
Can you give us a concrete example from the sources? I mean, we hear AI thrown around all the time, but what does it actually look like in a legal office?
What's fascinating here is the detail around the AI usage. We aren't talking hypotheticals, we're talking about using AI tools, and they specifically mention ChatGPT for prompt-based case preparation.
Prompt-based.
So this involves accelerating that foundational work, using these tools for precedent summarization and document structuring.
Wait, hold on. Using generative AI like ChatGPT for legal documents. I mean, that must raise massive ethical and confidentiality questions, right?
Yeah.
You can't just feed client privilege into a large language model.
That's a crucial point, and it speaks directly to the strategic advantage they have. The value isn't just in the tool, it's in the specialized skill they list. Legal prompt engineering.
Legal prompt engineering.
Yes, it's the ability to frame the query, the prompt, so precisely that the output is targeted, it's verifiable, and it's secure. They're using AI to rapidly generate the scaffolding.
Is scaffolding.
Precise procedural checklists, structured outlines for arguments, summaries of existing precedent.
So it minimizes the rote, hour-consuming research and compilation phase. It frees up the lawyer's mental bandwidth for strategic thinking, for judgment, which the AI can't replicate.
Exactly. It's an acceleration tool, not a replacement tool.
Right.
This proficiency allows the advocate to bypass traditional research bottlenecks, and that could potentially reduce the billable hours for the prep phase, which is a direct saving for the client.
And speaking of structured workflows, the sources show this really focused period right before becoming a self-employed advocate, a role as a legal case manager at Cedar Financial. It was short, September to December 2025, but what did that concentrated time achieve?
Well, that short tenure, it demonstrates a practical application of compliance and high-volume management in a very focused legal support setting.
Okay.
They were performing legal reviews of client and case documentation to support debt recovery and dispute resolution strategies. This means meticulous drafting of legal correspondence and ensuring, accurate, timely, and compliant file management.
That experience sounds like intensive training in procedural rigor. I mean, dealing with debt recovery, that's massive volumes of files where accuracy and sticking to regulatory timelines is just non-negotiable.
That's right. And that experience is the perfect preparation for running an efficient solo practice, where managing case volume without dropping the ball is, well, it's everything. It ties directly back into their tech competencies around digital drafting tools and CRM systems.
So we have a clear picture of a technologically advanced legal practitioner. But to really understand the mindset behind that approach, we have to look back a decade. This is where the story, I think, really challenges the standard professional narrative.
What's fascinating here is just the sheer length and depth of this pivot. From 2007 to 2017, that's 10 years spent as a retail and digital marketing professional.
For global brands, too. Zara, Walmart, Shell.
3 continents, high-volume operations. It's significant.
That extensive retail decade completely challenges the typical path of a lawyer. So what does this gap tell us about the foundational training this professional received?
It gives them a crucial advantage, an almost surgical understanding of internal corporate mechanisms. Think about the roles managing inventory, sales operations, corporate adherence in massive multinational companies like Walmart or Shell. That experience means you're operating under constant pressure for efficiency and strict adherence to protocol and compliance.
I mean, if you can successfully manage inventory shrinkage and Q4 sales compliance at a massive global retailer like Walmart, you've basically done a residency in procedural due diligence and forensic accountability. That's intense.
Absolutely. And when you transition to commercial or banking litigation or even complicated family asset disputes, you're often looking for the holes in corporate documentation or the gaps in procedural adherence.
Right. Nowhere to look.
Having spent a decade running those regulated high-volume operations gives you an almost intuitive sense of where those systemic vulnerabilities might be. This translates directly to forensic analysis in commercial disputes.
So client advocacy isn't just about knowing the relevance section of a statute. It's about having been on the inside and understanding how the opponent actually operates in the real world.
Precisely. And then there's the crucial client-facing element. They list a deep insight into customer behavior. In law, your client is your customer.
Sure.
Years of retail experience mean this advocate is likely exceptionally good at reading people, managing expectations, and tailoring communication skills essential for superior client counseling and negotiation.
And we can't skip the digital marketing side of that foundation. The background included things like email campaigns, social media strategy, SEO basics. For our listener who might not be deep in marketing jargon, how do these digital skills apply to modern legal problems?
That's an excellent point. SEO, search engine optimization, is about making sure content is easily found online. Digital marketing is about segmenting your audience and sending targeted, persuasive messages. This background doesn't just help with, firm outreach. It changes how they approach evidence.
Meaning they understand not just what constitutes digital evidence, but how digital campaigns are structured, how online fraud is sometimes done through sophisticated targeting.
Yes, and crucially, they list competency with CRM tools, customer relationship management systems. These are the backbones of modern business. A lawyer who is fluent in CRM is running their practice with the same organized, data-driven efficiency as a major corporation.
That operational rigor, it directly benefits the client through transparency and faster response times.
So that decade was truly foundational training in complex communication, efficiency, and real-world compliance.
Skills that often take a traditional lawyer years to develop after graduation.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the formal education just reinforces this whole multidisciplinary approach. The LLB, completed in 2023, that provided the formal legal grounding. Constitutional law, criminal law, civil procedure, all of it. The legal framework is solid.
And we shouldn't overlook the preceding studies in Germany, International Business Administration with IT. Now, the degree wasn't conferred, but the program itself emphasized communication and linguistics. It shows a long-standing interest in the intersection of business, tech, and communication.
Absolutely. The LLB provided the professional license, the German studies, and the retail decade provided the operational lens through which to view the law. But there is one more foundational piece we have to explore: the IELTS coach and educational consultant experience.
Right, that ran parallel to the retail career for years.
From 2006 to 2017, a decade of intensive coaching writing, speaking, listening for a high-stakes English exam. That's just relentless training in clear, persuasive communication.
In that coaching role, it translates perfectly into legal practice.
Perfectly. First, it's Thousands of hours spent breaking down complex grammatical and syntactical rules. That's the essence of statutory interpretation and legal drafting. You have to understand how precise language affects meaning.
And second, it's advocacy and mentoring. A lawyer has to be a great presenter in court.
Correct. But third, and maybe most importantly, it's client counseling. A coach is constantly giving detailed constructive feedback, breaking down complex tasks into manageable steps.
Which translates directly to explaining complicated legal scenarios in a way that is easily understood,
Yeah.
building trust and guiding the client through a really stressful process.
It's practical mentoring applied to law.
It truly rounds out the profile. So
Yeah.
if we put all these pieces together, the law, the sales, the coaching, what emerges is a clear, intentional strategy to be a highly adaptive professional. The core competencies listed now seem to bridge every role they've ever held.
Yes. On the legal side, you have courtroom advocacy, dispute resolution, legal drafting.
Okay.
On the digital side, it's AI-assisted research, that prompt engineering, and CRM tools.
And personally,
Personally, the key is adaptability in multidisciplinary environments, strong analytical and critical thinking, and negotiation skills. The profile isn't just a list of jobs, it's a fully assembled, high-efficiency toolkit.
so if you were a potential client looking at this profile, what is the unique value proposition this advocate delivers that a traditional straight path lawyer might miss?
Well, this raises an important question. What does the client actually purchase? They purchase efficiency and foresight. By integrating technology and business acumen, the advocate offers faster, more accurately researched case preparation and case management that operates like a professional corporate back office. You're getting an advocate who understands high-volume documentation, compliance pitfalls, and how modern organizations operate, all while maintaining the core legal strengths of ethical judgment and integrity.
It's a synthesis of litigation, operational efficiency, and cutting-edge research. This profile is a fascinating blueprint for professional adaptation. It demonstrates that the future of specialized fields like law isn't just about deeper expertise in one silo.
It's about integrating operational efficiency and technological fluency derived from seemingly unrelated international business experience. And that serves as a powerful takeaway for you, the learner.
How so?
Foundational experience in fields that demand high accountability and customer interaction like retail management or educational consulting. It isn't a detour. It's often the source of the most valuable, intangible skills that provide a significant competitive edge.
Absolutely. It reframes the whole idea of professional history. And this brings us to our final provocative thought for you to mull or explore on your own. We established that this advocate is highly skilled in digital marketing and brand communication, which is all about managing perception and outreach. So how might these specific skills be utilized to inform a modern law practice in managing client perception and outreach, a necessary skill set that has traditionally been treated as external to legal training? If you can successfully market a global brand, how do you market justice, procedural fairness, and ultimately your own professional integrity?